Today we are going to start learning about slope. All straight lines have a slope. When y'all hear the word slope, there's lots of things you can think of. You could think of snow skiing. You can think of roofs of houses. You could think of wheelchair ramps. You could think of skateboard ramps. They all have a slope. Yes? When you go snow skiing, the mountain's level of difficulty is rated by how steep the slope is. And I will never go down a black mountain. That is the steepest and it is most dangerous mountain to snow ski down. Make sense? I want to go down a very gradual steepness. So slope is not distance. And a lot of students get that mixed up. So say what did I say? Slope is not? It is steepness. If you own a home or your parents own a home or your grandparents own a home, have y'all ever looked at the roof? If it's not that steep, you can get up there and you can work on your roof or you can like clean up the gutters. But if it's super, super steep, you probably have to hire a professional. Yes, because you could really hurt yourself falling off of the roof. We're always talking about slope in construction, building a wheelchair ramp. You don't want it to be super steep because the person in the wheelchair could fall off. It's not a ride. It should be a very gradual incline. Yes? All right, so that's what slope is. To find slope, we learned in 7th grade this formula. Yes? Rise over run. The rise is going up or down. The run is going, anybody? Left or right. Now, in 8th grade and in Algebra 1, we learned what's called the slope formula. When you don't have a graph, how do you find the slope? And to do that, it's the change in y over the change in x. Because the change in y is the change going up or, because the y-axis goes up and down. The change in x is the change going left to right. Are we good? All right, and we just learned in our video that we watched that there's 4 types of slopes. What type of slope is this one? Because it's going up from left to right. What type is this one? Negative. What type is this one? 0. And this is? Undefined, which is the worst curse word in math and algebra. And you'll learn why in a minute. Now again, in 7th grade, you learned how to do rise over run of a graph. And what we're going to add to it today is when you don't have a graph, how do you find slope? On your star chart, which you don't need to get out because we're going to write it down, there is a section called linear equations. And at the very bottom of it, it says slope of a line. And it gives you a formula, so you don't have to memorize this. This is the formula I'm going to teach you today. It is super, super easy. Look at the top of it. What does it say? y2 minus? That's the change in y's. That's the rise. Look at the bottom. x2 minus x1, that's the change in the x's. That's the run. So I want you to write the formula down right over here. So to find slope, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, this is the change in y's over the change in x's. The cool thing about rise over run is you can use any dots on the graph. Okay? All right, let's go do an example. These 2 dots make a line. Yes? They want to know what the slope is of the line that you would make if you graphed it and connected it. Well, we can't do rise over run because we don't have a graph. So we're going to do this formula. So to do this formula, I want you to label them. This number is an x and this number is a y. Since they came first, let's call them the ones. This number is an x and this number is a y. Since they came second, let's call them 2's. And now we're going to follow the formula that we wrote down right here. So we're going to write y2 minus y1. Well, what is y2? Negative 1 minus y1. What's y1? 2. over x2 minus x1. What's x2? 4 minus, what's x1? 5. And now all you're going to do is solve it. Now your calculator will do this all for you in one step, but I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. To do it by hand, you simply do the top and the bottom. What is negative 1 minus 2? Negative 3. What is 4 minus 5? Negative 1. So I have negative 3 divided by negative 1, which turns into positive 3. The slope is positive 3. Now, if I want to write it as a rise over run, I would write it as 3 over 1. 3 would be the rise, 1 would be the run. If I was going to use it in an equation, I would just put 3. Any questions so far? All right, let's do the next one. I want you to go label them as x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, what does the formula say? Y2 minus y1. So I have 6 minus 3. Now stop and look at what I'm about to do. I'm going to make a mistake, and I want y'all to find my mistake. x2 minus x1. Did I do it right? No. Who can tell me what I did wrong? It's x2 minus the value of x1, and x1 is negative 2. All right, 6 minus 3 is 3, and 4 minus negative 2 is 6. Is that a good answer? No. Why not? It can be simplified. So 3 divided by 6 is really a half. Now, I'm going to show y'all that your calculator will do this for you all in one step. So everybody get your calculator out, turn it on. Go to alpha y equals. Type in 6 minus 3 on top, and on bottom type in 4 minus negative 2. Did it give you 1/2 all in one answer? So you don't have to go do them by hand. You can just use your calculator. Now, what does this answer represent? The 1 is the rise. The 2 is the run. All right, let's do the next one. Go label x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, my formula says y2 minus y1, so you should have put negative 3 minus 5. What am I going to put on bottom? 1/2 minus 9/2. Will my calculator do this one in one step? Yes. So we go to alpha y equals. We're going to put in negative 3 minus 5 on top. And then on bottom, we're going to put in alpha y equals again to put in 1/2, tab out, minus alpha y equals 9/2. And then tab out before you hit enter. What is my answer? 2. What if I want this as a rise over a run? 2 over 1. So this would be my rise. This would be my run. All right, I want you to do the last one on your own. Okay, did everybody get -2? What does that mean? The rise is -2, the run is 1. Okay, flip the page. Now, we're going to do the same thing on these. We're going to do the formula first, and we're going to look at why we get the answer we get. So I want y'all to go label them x1, y1, x2, y2. And I want you to set it up using the formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You should have put 4 minus 4 over 4 minus -2, yes? All right, what is 4 minus 4? What is 4 minus -2? 6. Can you have 0 as a numerator? Yes. Can 0 be the top number of a fraction? Yes. What is 0 divided by 6? 0. We just watched a video on slope, dude. What does a 0 slope look like? A straight flat line horizontally, yes? So if I graph these 2 points, it's going to make a horizontal line. So go graph them so that you can see. Okay, does everybody see that it made a flat horizontal line which has a 0 slope? Yes? Your calculator will do this one for you. I'm going to show y'all. You don't have to put it in. If I type in 4 minus 4 over 4 minus -2, my answer will give me 0. Now let's look at this one. Go label x1, y1, x2, y2, and fill in your formula. Did everybody get 1 minus 5 over 3 minus 3? Let's do it by hand. What is 1 minus 5? -4. What is 3 minus 3? Can you have a denominator of 0? No. So I want you to write that down. Cannot have a denominator of 0. So what do y'all think my answer is going to be? Undefined. You cannot put this as your answer. You must put the slope is undefined. If you type this in your calculator, everybody go type it in alpha y equals. What does your calculator tell you? There is an error, and it says divide by 0. You cannot divide by 0. The calculator will not tell you it's undefined. It's just going to say, I can't do this. You have to know that the answer is undefined. Yes? So what are these points going to look like if I graph them? Think of the video we watched. A straight vertical line. Go graph them. And you can see when you graph it, it is an undefined slope. Any questions so far? Okay, skip to the next page, to this one. We are now being asked to find the slope of a graph. Would I use the slope formula or would I use rise over run? Rise over run. So write that down. Rise over run. To do rise over run, you can pick any two dots on the graph. It does not matter which ones you pick. When you do the rise and run, your answer might look different, but when you simplify it, it will be the same. Okay? So pick your two dots, which they gave you two. So we're going to use this one and this one. Does it matter which dot I start with? No. And I'm going to show y'all both ways. I'm going to start with this dot, and I'm going to rise to the next dot. I am not going to go crooked. I'm going to go straight up until I am equal and even with my next dot. If you pass the dot up, the whole thing is wrong. And then you're simply going to count how many spaces you moved up. I moved up 1, 2, 3 squares, yes? My rise is up 3. Is up positive or negative? Positive. Okay? Now I'm going to run from the spot I left off to the dot. I am going to count how many spots I ran. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which way did I run? To the right. 5. Is right positive or negative? So my answer is positive 3/5. Now, if it needs to be simplified, you need to simplify it, which 3/5 cannot simplify. So my answer is 3/5. What if, I have a question for y'all. What if I had started at this dot and I ran down? It would be -3. And then I ran left 5. What do two negatives make? So does it really matter which way you go? You will always get the same answer in the end. Got it? All right, let's look at this one. Just look at this line. What kind of slope is it? Negative. So we need to make sure we get a negative. I need to do a rise over a run. Pick your two dots, which they gave it to you. Does it matter which dot I start with? No. Pick one. I'm going to start at this one. I am going to rise from the bottom up and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went up 5. So up is positive. Yes? All right, now I'm going to run from here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, but I went left. Left is what? Negative. What is that's an arrow. I know that's not great. What is a positive divided by a negative? Negative. So did I end up getting a negative slope? Does it matter which one I put the negative with? No. Personally speaking, when I do my final answer, I usually do this. But would my answer be correct if I put -5/4? It's the same answer. Why? I could have ran down and what? And right. So the negative could have gone with the 5 and the positive could have gone with the 4. It is the exact same thing. Understand? Flip to the back. You will have a few of these on your assignment today, so please, please, please listen to how to do them. They are going to give you two coordinates, but something is missing. Do y'all see how this is missing? Then they're going to give you the slope. You are going to have to set up a slope equation to solve for the missing piece. Well, let's talk about what a slope equation looks like. I know that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is equal to the slope. Instead of writing slope, though, can I write rise over run? Isn't rise over run just slope? Okay. And that's how you're going to set up your equation. That's it. So let's go set it up. This is my x1, y1, my x2, y2. So you're going to do everything I just taught you, but you're going to make it an equation. All right, are y'all ready? y2 minus y1, what is that? 9 minus 3 over x2 minus x1. Do I know x2? So I just put x minus, what's x1? 2. And that is equal to your slope, your rise over run. What's the rise? 3. What's the run? 2. And now all you have to do is solve the equation. Super easy, so I'm going to show y'all how. First of all, can I solve 9 minus 3? What is 9 minus 3? So I'm going to cross that out and put 6. Is there anything else I can solve right now? No. You are going to cross multiply. So I'm going to do 3 times x minus 2. Well, you're going to have to put that in parentheses. 3 times x minus 2 is equal to, and I'm going to cross multiply the other side. What's 6 times 2? 12. Can I now solve this equation? All right, what do I need to do right here? Distributive property. What's 3 times x? What's 3 times negative 2? So minus 6 equals 12. How do I get rid of the minus 6? Plus 6. So I have 3x equals 18. How do I get rid of the coefficient 3? What is 18 divided by 3? 6. You could check your answer by saying, is 9 minus 3 over 6 minus 2 equal to 3/2? And it is. All right, the next one is the same way. I'm going to make y'all set it up, but first I want y'all to look at something. This is my x1, y1, x2, y2. The 8 is my rise, the 1 is my run, but there's an issue. Do y'all see it? Where does the negative go? It's a trick question. I told y'all on the other page. Where does the negative go? Does it go with the 8 or the 1? Either. It does not matter. Do y'all remember what I said? Right here. It does not matter. It could be 5 over negative 4, or it could be negative 5 over 4. Both of these answers are the same thing. So you have to pick where you want the negative to go. So where do y'all want it to go? Anybody? With the 8. So put the 8 there with the negative. I want y'all to set up the equation and then stop. Don't solve it. Set it up. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals negative 8 over 1. Go set it up. Check it with mine. Make sure you set it up correctly. How did we do? Good? Okay. Can I go ahead and solve negative 2 minus 0? What is negative 2 minus 0? Negative 2. I am now going to cross multiply. So I need to put this in parentheses. I need to do 1 times 1 minus y. So 1 times 1 minus y equals, and then I need to cross multiply here. What's negative 8 times negative 2? Positive 16. And then I solve. Well, 1 times anything is itself, so it's just 1 minus y equals 16. How do I get rid of the 1? Minus 1. I now have negative y equals 15. Is that my answer? No, I can't have a negative y, so I divide by negative 1, and I get y equals negative 15. All right, the next 3, we're only going to do 2 of them. It's the exact same thing I taught you. What's different about this compared to these? This is called a table. These are called coordinates. Isn't a table just a bunch of coordinates? So you're going to do it the same way. You get to pick whatever 2 coordinates you want to use. I usually just use the first 2. So if hours are your x's and costs are your y's, then this is an x1. What would this be? X2. If this is your y's, then this is y1. What would this be? Y2. And then you would just do your formula. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I would do 14 minus 7 over 4 minus 2. What is 14 minus 7? What's 4 minus 2? Now, if I was graphing this, I would leave it as my rise is 7, my run is 2. Yes? But it's really asking for the slope, and in a real life problem, slope is called rate. They are the exact same thing. I'm really looking at how much does it cost per hour. So do you think I should leave it as a fraction in this situation or put it as a decimal? 7 halves is really $3.50 per hour. Slope is rate. Okay, skip this one because it's the same thing and go down to the last table. What's different about this table from the one we just did? Anybody? Instead of being stacked horizontally, it's stacked. Nothing's really different though. Just these are all your x's and these are all your. So this would be the first x, the second x, the first y, the second y. So I'd have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Go solve that and write your answer in words. Pass the papers down when you get them, please. Put it in your calculator, guys. So alpha y equals 3 minus 1.5 over 60 minus 30. What did we get as our answer? 0.05. So what does that represent? Miles per minute. Now if I was graphing with it, I would want to change it to a fraction by going to math, fraction, enter. My rise would be 1, my run would be 20, but I was answering a question about it, so I put it as a decimal. All right, go to your assignment that I just passed out. Put your name. Let's go through the directions. On 1 through 9, all you have to do is put if it's positive, negative, 0, or undefined. You have to plot the points, draw a line through them. So I'm going to grade your graph, and then I'm going to grade if you put positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Are y'all good? How many answers are you going to have? 2. The graph and then your answer. On 10 through 12, it said find the slope. So all you're going to do is rise over run. Make sure you simplify your fraction. Leave it as a fraction. I do not want a decimal. If you need to write that down, put fraction. Okay, flip to the back. 13 through 15, same thing. On 16 through 21, it wants you to find the slope. You're going to have to do the slope formula. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. And then on 22 through 25, that's the ones we just did where you set it up. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1 equals rise over run, and you solve the equation by cross multiplying. Make sense? Anybody yes, no? And then number 26 is super easy. You're just going to explain what's happening. So from 0 to 6, actually from 0 to 12 minutes, my heart rate is increasing. From 12 minutes, y'all see what I'm saying? That you're just going to explain what you see. That's it. All right. You may get started.